Welcome to Steel and Fire. Today we're diving into the story behind a true legend in the world of firearms. A weapon so iconic it needs no introduction. The AK-47 assault rifle. In 1941, on the brutal Bryansk front south of Moscow, a young Soviet tank crewman named Mikhail Kalashnikov was gravely wounded. His brush with death and his first encounter with the fearsome German STG-44 assault rifle planted a seed in his mind. That battle alone claimed the lives of over 80,000 Soviet soldiers. During his long recovery in a military hospital, Kalashnikov made a silent vow. He would build a new kind of weapon for the Red Army, a rifle that combined the automatic firepower of the CG-44 with a lightweight, rugged design. Above all, it had to be cheap to produce, easy to maintain, and reliable in the harshest conditions, from Russia's frozen winters to the sweltering heat and humidity of global battlefields. He began sketching designs right there in his hospital bed. It took years of experimentation and refinement, but in 1947, the first prototype was ready. Avtomat Kalashnikov Model 1947, or simply the AK-47. 2 years later, it entered mass production for the Soviet military. Although it arrived too late to see action in World War II, many Soviet soldiers viewed the AK-47 as a symbol of strength, a promise of national defense. Its first real baptism of fire came in 1956, during the Hungarian uprising in Budapest, where it proved its devastating effectiveness. So what made the AK-47 a global icon? At Steel and Fire, we believe the answer comes down to two words: efficiency and simplicity. While many assault rifles before and after struggled to balance complexity and performance, the AK-47 embraced minimalism. Its design was straightforward, so much so that even countries with modest industrial capabilities could manufacture it. But simplicity doesn't mean weakness. In fact, that simplicity is its greatest strength. Thanks to a large piston gas system, chrome-lined barrel and chamber for corrosion resistance, and generous tolerances between moving parts, the AK-47 is nearly unmatched in reliability. It can fire in sandstorms in Sudan or slog through the mud of Nicaragua. In the rare case of a jam, a soldier could strip it down in minutes, even rinse it in water, and it would still fire. Rust, ice, dirt, it shrugs them all off. Kalashnikov even designed the trigger and selector switch large enough to be operated with thick winter gloves. Training with the AK is lightning fast. With just a few hours of instruction, even recruits with no prior experience can master basic operation. And don't overlook the stopping power of its 7.62 by 39mm M43 cartridge, lethal and effective at medium range. The slightly tapered case gave rise to the AK's iconic curved magazine, often nicknamed the Banana Mag. The right side charging handle, combined with a simple and oversized selector switch above the trigger, allows for fast, instinctive operation. Down one click for semi-auto, down two for full auto, rapid, powerful, and unmistakable. As a former mechanic and tanker, Kalashnikov knew exactly what the battlefield demanded. What he created wasn't just a rifle, it was a tool of survival. The AK-47 would go on to rewrite the rules of modern warfare. From the Korean War to Vietnam and countless other conflicts, the AK-47 repeatedly proved its ruggedness and reliability, often outperforming its rivals, especially in harsh, low-maintenance environments where the M16. In the hands of resistance fighters and liberation movements, the AK-47 became more than just a weapon. It became a symbol of revolution. During the Cold War, the AK-47 was dubbed the weapon of the proletariat. Moscow exported millions, along with production licenses, to allied nations and insurgent groups worldwide. As a result, the AK-47 and its variants were soon manufactured across dozens of countries, each with its own local spin. One vivid example of its spread came during the Salvadoran Civil War in the 1980s. At first, the rebels used a patchwork of weapons, but soon government forces found themselves facing AKs made in North Korea, East Germany, and Yugoslavia, with ammo supplied by Cuba. The global AK supply chain, fueled by Soviet foreign policy, could equip an entire insurgency if needed. But that same simplicity, low cost, and accessibility opened a darker chapter. The AK-47 became the weapon of choice for terrorists, warlords, and criminal gangs. This sparked an ongoing debate. Is the AK-47 a liberation tool or a weapon of mass killing? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and join the conversation. Regardless of your stance, one thing is clear. When AKs fall into the wrong hands, the fight against terrorism and crime becomes an uphill battle. AK-47s and their variants now dominate the black arms market. From government factories in countries like China, whose exports flooded Africa for decades, to the unsecured stockpiles left behind after conflicts in Libya, the Balkans, and beyond, AKs are everywhere. Many heavy weapons used in European terror attacks have Balkan origins. Each year, about 1 million new AKs are produced, but tens of millions of old ones, dating back to the 1980s or earlier, are still in circulation. In Albania, after civil unrest in 1997, 750,000 AKs disappeared into the black market. In Bosnia, another 750,000 are believed to be in private hands. Syria is estimated to have over 900,000 illicit weapons, many kept by soldiers or resold cheaply after the war. In Afghanistan, countless AKs left behind after the Soviet withdrawal were captured by the Taliban and local militias. In Africa, the AK is a staple of tribal warfare and local conflicts. The influence of the AK-47 extends far beyond the battlefield. Its silhouette is etched into pop culture and national identity. In Vietnam, especially during and after the war, images of soldiers carrying AKs dominated propaganda posters and cinema. It became a familiar sight in public art and storytelling. In Mozambique, the AK-47, crossed with a hoe, appears on the national flag, symbolizing the fight for independence. It's also on the coats of arms of Zimbabwe and East Timor, the flag of Hezbollah, and the emblem of Iran's Revolutionary Guard. In the West, especially the United States, the AK-47 often represents the enemy, first the Soviets, then so-called rogue states, and now terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. Think of the iconic image of Osama bin Laden with an AK by his side. It even shows up in cartel violence. In Mexico, it's known as Cuerno de Chivo, goat's horn, a nod to its curved magazine and its association with drug gangs. And yet, even in art and activism, the AK-47 finds new life. Colombian musician Cesar Lopez turned decommissioned AKs into guitar rifle hybrids called escopetarias. The prestigious Popular Mechanics once named the AK-47 one of the most important firearms in history. But beyond accolades, the AK-47 is something more. It's a companion to the soldier, a symbol of survival, struggle, and conflict. Mikhail Kalashnikov is no longer with us, but the legacy he forged, the AK-47, will endure as a mythic weapon of war, a testament to human ingenuity, and a reminder of the complex relationship between technology, ideology, and the battlefield. That was our deep dive into the legend of the AK-47. Thanks for joining Steel&Fire for this episode. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Until then, stay sharp and we'll see you in the next video.